We're off.
You're misleading the public. You're lying to people.
We are part of the giant studio set. All the world to stage and you're it.
Jesus Christ, and suck my dick. Suck my dick.
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Man's getting rude. Man's getting rude.
It could be a what's it? It could be an onion ring.
A hairless monkey zipping through the vacuum, or a potato rock.
Yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, it'd be bad. It would be bad.
You can't have a bad place. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Gem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast, which I'm cocking up once again. Hang on, there's the hangout. Thank God for that. Oh my God, sorry it's taken so long for us to get here. What a interesting evening it's been. So, where is my introduction? It says here, bonsoir et bienvenue dans une nouvelle édition des Gem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. Tonight, in our special pre-Brexit show, we say, fuck you, Europe. You aren't having any more of our money. And in a final act of defiance, we've sent you a camper van full of stupid people to remind you that Britain can actually organise a piss-up in a brewery. We chart their progress tonight. I am your host, Gem. We got them drunk on tiny bottles of weak beer, and now they're sobering up on unfeasibly long sandwiches filled with frogs' legs and snails. It's all the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server, Curved, Kosho, Quartus, Scott, and Lewis, I think, or some combination of those people anyway.
That sounds about right.
It was a bit of
that was great with the where we tell Europe, fuck you.
Yes.
Oh, man.
My French was pretty bad, though. I sounded quite good earlier. I got the little Google translation up. I practiced it a little bit. But anyway, our technical issues, as usual, have put me all in a tiz. So I should apologise to our audience. I'm sorry the uploads just took forever this evening. And in fact, the later clips in the show are still uploading as we speak. However, we have got some stuff to show you. So, moving swiftly on. We've got a bit of catching up to do with the Globe Lie Euro Tour. So we're going right back to the start of the European leg in Amsterdam. The Flat Earth, this is important, the Flat Earth Convention, Europe, has just closed, and the attendees, he said, and he's trying to get the video ready at the same time he's reading it, the attendees are preparing for some activism outside the railway station. Leading the charge for truth here is the not-so-benevolent Roxanne Glenn. I'm nowhere near ready with this clip, by the way, but let's hit it.
The audience is reporting it.
Because, as you all know, there's an incredible amount of disinformation on the internet.
They're reporting what, sorry?
The video's lagging. It's dropping a lot of frames.
You tell people to go and research Flat Earth, and here we go. Looks like we're going to get problem number 2.
I guess it's because I'm still on.
Looks like we're going to get problem number 2 now.
Could well be.
Okay.
Oh.
So he said it was all right. You just saw how that all went. Everything was fine. But now he's come back with his colleague. So we've got Dave and Jason trying to appease the situation. And we're rolling out the banners anyway. As you can see, it's not stopping Jason. He's just going to carry on. And we're going to see how we get on with this now. We've got a lot of information there. So I'm going to just try and let you see it as it comes out. It looks like they don't really want us to even get the information out. It's taken us a long time to just get to this part. Yeah, we do need a permit for certain types of activism, but we've gone through the information with the police officers, and we've explained to them that we're only here for one day, and we have looked at the legalities. Yes, yes, we're using some loopholes, but the loopholes, we're on the right side of the loopholes. So why at sea level at 35,000 feet, at 125,000 feet, and still we see no curvature. Earth's rotation cannot be scientifically detected. How can you prove the distance to the sun, moon, planets or stars? Scientists have never proven the existence of gravity, and it still remains a theory. Got a lot of people looking and the banners aren't even up yet. So I don't want to bombard everybody. Everybody's just kind of come to a standstill there to have a look. And obviously they should be able to find a language that they can understand. So far so good. However, you know what the police are like.
Is everything alright? Everything okay? Everything okay?
No, not everything is okay.
Why?
They have to be free. It's for blind people.
Okay, the police and the council, they've already been here and given us permission.
This is my project. This is for the blind people, this one.
Okay, can
you come from there to go to the station? They have to be free.
Huh?
You can go there.
We did discuss this with the police and they said it was fine.
Ma'am, I tell you because...
Okay, but can you get the police back here then?
No, police. I had the same right.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'll get them back. I will get the officers to come back. They're just over there.
I'm going to run this one
I will
back.
call them back so they can tell me what they said.
Call them back.
I'm going to run this back from the beginning because the audience didn't get it very well.
Because, as you all know, there's an incredible amount of disinformation on the internet. You tell people to go and research flat Earth, and oh, here we go. Looks like we're going to get problem number 2. Looks like we're going to get problem number 2 now. Okay. So he said it was all right. You just saw how that all went. Everything was fine. But now he's come back with his colleague. So we've got Dave and Jason trying to appease the situation. And we're rolling out the banners anyway. As you can see, it's not stopping Jason. He's just going to carry on. And we're going to see how we get on with this. Now, we've got a lot of information there. So I'm going to just try and let you see it as it comes out. It looks like they don't really want us to even get the information out. It's taken us a long time to just get to this part. Yeah, we do need a permit for certain types of activism, but we've gone through the information with the police officers, and we've explained to them that we're only here for one day, and we have looked at the legalities. Yes, yes, we're using some loopholes, but the loopholes, we're on the right side of the loopholes. So why at sea level at 35,000 feet, at 125,000 feet, and still we see no curvature. Earth's rotation cannot be scientifically detected. How can you prove the distance to the sun, moon, planets or stars? Scientists have never proven the existence of gravity, and it still remains a theory. Got a lot of people looking and the banners aren't even up yet. So I don't want to bombard everybody. Everybody's just kind of come to a standstill there to have a look. And obviously they should be able to find a language that they can understand. So far so good. However, you know what the police are like.
Is everything alright? Everything okay? Everything okay?
No, not everything is okay.
Why?
They have to be free. It's for blind people.
Okay, the police and the council, they've already been here and given us permission.
This is my project. This is for the blind people, this one.
Okay, can you...
come from there to go to the station. They have to be free.
Huh?
You can go there.
We did discuss this with the police and they said it was fine.
Ma'am, I tell you because...
Okay, but can you get the police back here then?
No, police. I had the same right.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'll get them back. I will get the officers to come back. They're just over there. I will call them back so they can tell me what they said.
Call them back.
Okay? But where we've been given permission by the police...
No, they can't give you permission for this. This is for the blind.
Yeah, they said that... Okay.
Ma'am, you don't want to listen to me. No, because...
You're not being very...
No, because you say police say...
No, let's start again. Hello. Hi. Let's start again. Hi. Hi. You don't need to do that with me, okay? You can be a nice person. I know you're in uniform. I will listen to what you're saying, but don't please talk down to me, okay? You're on camera. I'm streaming live on YouTube, so there are witnesses to this conversation. Just be nice. Like, please, sir. Your colleagues be nice.
Look, they're doing this already. Yes?
We've been here for an hour. been here for an hour?
It doesn't matter for 1 hour or for 2 days.
Your colleagues have already been here.
It doesn't matter.
Your
They
colleagues-
don't
your
know that.
Hello, listen to me. Your colleagues with the same uniform also came after the police. We've had 2 ladies that came with the police. The police phoned the council phoned back the police told us we could be here. I really wish you would all talk to each other because your colleagues have already been told.
How long ago?
Okay. Yeah?
How long ago?
Within the last hour. Within the last hour. The 2 ladies, you know them, yeah? They work with you.
Hier is 96.
There's always one. But he's getting a bit rude, bro. Yeah, police are still not, well, they're not police, but the police are okay. It's the other people that aren't okay. So we're seeing what they're going to say now.
Oké, ik wacht rustig af. Anders heb ik een hele discussie met de mevrouw hier en dat wil ik liever vermijden.
Yeah, so we're not on the actual path itself. Yeah?
The colleague is coming here.
Yeah?
The colleague.
The same one, yeah? Okay, it's not a problem. The police were okay. The police were fine. They just said, please don't obstruct this rigid bit because obviously the banner will cover up the ridges and people won't see the ridges.
Do you understand how important this is for blind people?
Why would you think? Please, sir,
Because
don't do that.
the discussion
Please
is-
don't make assumptions. I could have blind people in my family. Please don't do that. I'm not being rude to you, sir. Please don't get aggravated.
How much space you have there? You can go there also.
We did say that, but...
How much space you have? You can go there.
Brother.
You can go there.
Sir, would you like us to move there?
If we move, it doesn't have to be free. Only this.
This is free.
This
I was going to say, if someone blind comes, I will personally take them myself.
Yeah, me too.
Hun naar de spullen hierover.
Listen, you know that they're not moving us. Sorry guys, I really didn't mean to come away from Jaren's conversation, but I saw the authorities looking for someone in charge and I know that I've already spoken to the police, so we're not getting moved by colleagues that haven't spoken to colleagues and think we're idiots. And he was getting a bit rude. He was getting a bit, I was like, stop.
His mate was
I said,
fine.
stop, officer. But obviously we don't want the law to hamper our... I'll show you what the law are trying to tell us to do, okay? They're trying to tell us to go over there where no one is, okay? They want us to go over there where no one is and there's no footfall. And obviously we want to stay here, so...
Did those cops tell you you couldn't be here or something?
I told them we are staying. We're fine. They were hoping to speak to someone that didn't know what they were talking about, but then they got me.
I guess she doesn't really care about blind people. That's sort of the takeaway there.
Right. It's unbelievable, isn't it? She just didn't enter her head in any way that she should have to move.
Nope. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. He's being a bit rude, over and over and over.
Rude.
Yeah.
He wasn't rude at all.
No.
He was just saying this is for blind people. That's it.
Right. And she interrupted him constantly, didn't she?
Yeah. All they would have to do is move their sides. Excuse me, a little bit further down, and then they could talk to people. They could have some of their stuff there. All he was basically, he just didn't want the crowd accumulating on the blind people's space. That's it.
Roxanne did nothing wrong, guys. Nothing wrong.
Yeah, guys.
I'm just kidding.
And you're not.
Wait, so what's the deal with that blind place? Is it like a blind place, or it's a place where blind people walk, or
No,
I don't get it.
You see the paving in front of them. It's set up so they can feel it as they walk. It guides them.
It's called
right.
it's tactile.
I think he said he's trained. Yeah, and I think he said he was training. That they're training there. And so when that one guy was like, "Oh, I'll lead them myself," I was like, I think that might be missing the point. I think they're supposed to be practicing.
Yeah, and also, what if you don't want to be led by someone? The whole point is to be independent, to be able to move around independently. Yeah. And he just, I don't know, seemed to think he was being really charitable. And what you see actually in the video after that is, for about 2 minutes, Roxanne makes a concerted effort to keep people off that path. And then for the subsequent 2 hours or whatever of the video, every time you see that path, there's people on it, all over it.
Yeah.
There's at one point there's a close-up of a flat bicycle tire that is sat on it. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe that she did that. I mean, she just didn't hear him at all, did she? She kept saying, "Well, I've arranged it with the police," and he was going, "But the blind."
I could have blind people in my family. I can't believe you would say that about me.
I'm sure that was bullshit. Sorry, go on. Quaz.
I could be blind, sir, for all you know.
Right. It sort of has vague tones of the benevolent rant, where it's, I went to a Church of England school, and I never renounced it. You know, this sort of nonsense that she came out with.
Well, she knows the Kings of Glasgow. Don't forget.
She did what? Sorry.
She knows the Kings of Glasgow too. Don't forget.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. The Kings of.
You haven't heard her do that yet? Oh yeah, she has this whole thing about how she knows everyone of importance in Glasgow. She knows the Kings. She's the Kings of Glasgow. You ask around. Roxanne knows the Kings of Glasgow. Go the whole thing.
Wow.
Why doesn't it surprise me she would say something like that?
I can't believe you hasn't heard that one.
Oh, what, like gangster kings, that kind of king?
Yeah, the gangster kings.
Right,
exactly,
yeah, that is sort of reminding me a little bit now.
Yeah, that was a while back.
So, should we have some more Roxanne?
Oh, yeah.
Now, so this is more of Roxanne at the same event, as she resorts to barefaced lying in order to avoid the burden of proof. Check this out.
So it's just a conversation starter, that's all what it is. We're making no claims, having a conversation with people and trying to bring them to the table of flat earth. We've got Lee here, Lee's doing a bit. That's two flat earthers here.
It's not a good question, yeah? The reason this is what you're doing is you're making an assumption about what we are. We're not flat earthers. Do you know this? We're globe deniers, my friend. Yeah? I've already done the research. That's not research, bruv. You think we're flat earthers? I'm telling you, you're wrong. Look at our banners. It says the globe's alive.
Who knows? It'd be great to find out, but we can show it's not a globe.
Okay, first thing he did was asked us if we were flat earthers, so that was a bit of a boo-boo. Okay, I should probably give you a disclaimer, okay? So what we are a claim that's been made, yeah? The claim that's been taught to you, to me, at my school. Who teaches us at school? The Ministries of Education. So we have taken it upon ourselves to question the claim that's been made and look for supporting evidence for that claim. We have found there is no supporting evidence for the claim, therefore what we've been taught is a lie. Now to say flat earthers is a crazy claim. Do you know why? Because now the burden of proof is on that person. So you would need to find a flat earther here to have a conversation with. There are no flat earthers here. Do you know what that is? That's a psyop made by the Flat Earth Society, bruv. To make people look stupid. To make people think about a pizza dish in space. Mad, bruv. So I hope you've got some informed questions, because if you've got a load of flat earther questions, bruv, you should have found the Flat Earth Society to ask them to. It was the first question. He said, "You flat earthers believe?" I went, "Up, stop." So I'm sorry if I annoyed the chat room there, but I can't entertain foolishness. And he definitely didn't look at the banners or anything, and he thought he was going to talk to flat earthers.
Good God. Just having this chav flat earth bent tell you she's not a flat earther over and over again.
Unbelievable, isn't it? And she stood in front of all these posters that say flat earth. They're recommending this flat earth sun and moon app. They've even got the pizza. Yep. The infamous, now infamous pizza.
She should have just gone with the regular thing of saying, yeah, we're flat earthers and it's the reasonable position, and then try to catch him out on some ignorance, maybe.
Right.
That's... Oh, my God. We're not flat earthers. If you thought you were going to see flat earthers here, oh, man, there are no flat earthers here.
Well, it says flat earth on your sign.
yeah. And this is after the Flat Earth Convention, Europe. That's what the event was called. I mean...
Yeah. But you can see why she's effective. She was so she was getting so wrapped up in that, and when she says something like, "It's mad, man," like she was so serious, like she was really getting to him. I think like she had something that says a piece of poetry there.
It's mad, bro.
It's mad, bro.
I think she would be extremely ineffective with that tactic.
You think so?
Yeah, it's so.
I just feel like you could look whatever she's saying. She's not saying anything of like actual content, but you could just feel how much she cares. Like she believes this. You feel like I feel like it's a whole body belief in her.
Yeah, but it's the delusions of the drug addicts on the street. Like that's a whole body delusion for them too.
Yeah.
I see it's a pretty low bar in my opinion. I don't know if she's trying to be compelling, I don't see this as a good tactic at all. Because the person's going to work on
us. Like, are you? Yeah.
Yeah,
but like, I mean, haven't we learned that most people are not getting into this? Most people don't believe it or stop believing it based on actual logical evidence. It comes from an emotional place on some level. I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, most people aren't going to trust the emotions of other people unless they really like that person. So I guess the only people who are going to buy into that are the people who look at her and just fall in love for some reason.
That's crazy.
I think you fell in love.
I did. Just for the record, it's a character.
I thought that first clip should have most of the people who are falling in love with her falling out of love with her, really, because I thought that was a pretty low thing to do, really, and you know.
Yeah. Well, that first one, it's like she does not even stop to even consider the question of, oh wait, maybe should we get out of the way of blind people? Like that never even comes into play for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think that they hadn't noticed that path. She said, "Oh, we spoke to the police, and they said if we didn't cover up the thing." Well, I don't think that's true. I don't think they did do that at all. I think they just none of them had noticed it or realized, you know.
Right. I think it could have even worked to their advantage to get a more intimate setting with a lot of the people they talked to. They could have said, "Look, we're set up more over here. We don't want to block the path of blind people here. Come over this way." And then that sets the stage for a more intimate interaction.
Right. We're very good at this, aren't we? We often plan these this Flat Earth Street activism. They should put us in charge of it, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we have some more of her? This interaction is brilliant. I think it's brilliant. There's just so much going on in this one. So let's do it. He said, hopefully it'll happen in a moment.
What's your top piece of evidence that you live on what you were taught?
The different star rotations, because in the northern hemisphere the star constellation, the star rotation is around, it's counterclockwise, but in the south.
So the star rotation is why you believe you're on a spinning ball flying through space. What's your next reason for believing it?
Next reason is why the sun rises and the sun sets, because the Earth turns away from the sun. And that's why I think that the Earth also is a planet, because sunset and sunrise. It's impossible on other shaped planet.
Okay. What's your third reason?
Because the shadows.
Okay. Well, let's go for your first reason. Adam, do you want to come in? Okay. So look, we'll get a panel together for you. Okay. So this gentleman's first reason for why he personally believes he's living on what he was taught is the Southern Star Trail. Sorry, have you gone to the Southern Hemisphere yourself?
I have a friend who's right there.
But have you been there yourself?
Not myself.
Because we've all got friends, but have you been there?
Not
first
myself.
hand. Okay, so what is your first hand? I need first hand reasons for why you believe you're living on what you were taught. Not what you were taught by other people for you to believe.
Okay, the star constellation Orion, it's only seen in fall and winter. And it disappears when it becomes it disappears when it becomes summer and spring.
Okay, Adam, do you want to
What disappears? What are you saying?
It disappears when it's fall and winter. That's because the Earth's axial tilt is shifted away from the sun. It's more a northern star. And when it becomes
So because a light in the sky changes position, it means the Earth's a ball.
because of the Earth's
So
axis.
if I look up there,
If
I look up there,
Earth's axle tilt actually doesn't. If Earth's axle tilt is what it is, then do you know what it would mean we were doing? It would mean we were in an elevator shaft going like this every 24 hours. So axle tilt doesn't help the ball; it kills the ball. So I'd stay away from this, which is actually the distance from here to the moon that we're taught, which means we're in an elevator shaft that's just under 300 kilometers, 300,000 kilometers in height. By sunset, going up and down.
City saying let's stick to the basics. So.
Stick to the basics, yeah.
Is that
That's the same reason you're saying the sunsets. Because you just said to me the sunsets prove we live why because it's going over the curve, but they're not. They're disappearing due to lines of convergence and perspective.
So perspective is the reason why they disappear.
Well, it's the reason the boat disappears, the same reason the sun disappears.
If you have a powerful enough zoom, you can
bring it back straight back.
There you go. So your curve then disappears.
If you're going to start not talking about viscosity and why can't we see New York from England, obviously atmospherics play into that. So let's stick, like Sidney said, let's stick to the basics. Yeah, let's stick to the basics. So what would be your main proof that you live in? Why do you believe what you were taught at school about where? So did you say satellites?
Yes,
well, satellites, star rotation, and
why the sun's rising.
How about when you were little? When you were 10 years old?
They learned me at school.
Yeah.
And I've done my own research after those people.
And this person did. All of these persons. In fact, some people from universities, some lecturers, some learned individuals, study of life.
I'm a qualified pharmacist. I teach at universities. I've researched this. I entered this to try and disprove it. It's only when you actually do apply yourself, you see the layers of deceit that's there to try and paint the ball.
What we're not out here doing is we're not claiming that the Earth is flat. What we're doing is we're showing the claim that's been made. It's information we're putting out there. What you'll see is we're not making any claims. We're showing you the claim that's been made is false. So even if we did live on a globe and it was bigger by the factor of 10, why have they lied to us? They really lied. But you know, if your friend had a pink top on and he told us it was purple, and I said, why is your friend lying? You'd say, I don't know. We know he's lying, but I don't know why he's lying. You see, we see there's a lie. We don't know why they're lying, but it's clear that they've taught us a false doctrine on where we live. And you know what? Only 500 years ago, they were throwing people in prison for telling people they lived on a boat. Yeah? 500 years ago, they threw people in prison for telling people they were living on a boat. Because once upon a time, they didn't need all of the information they needed now. It's like gravity.
So I've just got one question for you. So, how can space exist? How do we have a vacuum next to a pressurized system without a container?
How do you have a gas pressure without a container?
Gravity holds everything.
No. Gas behaviour. If you follow about gas behaviour, okay, it's an elastic collision which is not affected. The collision is not affected by gravity. So, following the second law of thermodynamics.
Of the gas inside here without the container.
How does it stay stuck on the ball? Because if
If you could show us an example, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Example of that. Doesn't matter how much money you got, you can't make it happen.
Show us one NASA transition. Even they don't even try to fake it. They're suddenly there in space. They won't show you this transition when they claim they've suddenly gone to space. It's not there. It's a violation of a natural law, the second law of thermodynamics. And unless you can disprove
there,
that
behind
law...
us, look.
Right there.
Right there. Just have to take a look.
And by the way, gravity is still a theory. It's not ever been proven.
Yeah.
So there is no gravity. The whole model falls apart.
I thought that was from the flat earth side right here. So my questions are only for people who think the earth is flat. So I think I have a different
Well,
view.
look, my friend, the reason the earth is clearly and observably flat is because the globe is alive. But we're not making any claims. All we're saying is the one that's been made is false. And you know what? The ministries of education, they're going to have to pay for that. They're going to have to pay. At school, did any of you get taught that it was a model that they were teaching you? But they teach you like it's facts. They taught me. They made me believe it too. With no supporting evidence.
Did you know that if you pick up a globe, turn it upside down, do you know what it says on the bottom? legally, it should say. It will say this is not for educational purposes. This is for decorative. This is for decorative purposes. By law, they should have that sticker. Did you know that?
When I've heard there are two different globes. One for educational purposes and just for...
No, there is no globe for...
I've never seen that. I've only ever seen...
Right, but even the space agencies don't use the globe. Yeah?
I've never seen one.
Even the space agencies don't use it.
It's a toy, it's a prop, it's a model,
It's a prop.
isn't it?
It's an idol to worship that was given to us by man. Are you religious at all? Do you believe in God?
I'm Muslim.
Okay, so
do you...
where in scriptures does
So you
it
don't
say...
believe the Quran?
Let me finish. In scriptures, I go to Speaker's Corner in London quite a lot, and so does my friend here. We speak to a lot of stationary, immovable pillars.
Well, the Quran also says that the universe is expanding.
Right, there's imams that go to Speaker's Corner. Imams go to Speaker's Corner. We've had lengthy conversations with imams that are on the same page as we are, that we've been indoctrinated with a false doctrine by man. And that doctrine by man is to keep us away from the Most High, bro. Yeah, the Most High told us, do not put any idols given to us by man between the Most High and us. And what do you see everyone doing? Walking around that globe, believing in that globe more than they believe in the Most High. And every scripture states, don't put any false idol before me.
You're Muslim, yeah?
Yes.
So this is from the Quran, 15:19, yeah? And the earth we have spread out and placed therein firm hills, caused each scenery to grow therein. Next
No
verse.
scripture doesn't
He
say
who has
that.
made for you the earth like a carpet spread out, has enabled you to go about therein by roads and channels, and has sent down water from the sky. Now, if you believe your own scripture,
There should have been a bit more of that one. But we were more or less at the end.
It's just so awful.
Yeah.
They didn't listen to a single thing that he said.
No.
They didn't respond to it at all. As basically calling into question whether or not he can trust any of his friends. They're starting at the beginning there. That's completely ridiculous. And what's even worse about that is that Roxanne undoubtedly knows somebody from Australia who could confirm what he said about the star trails.
Yeah.
And it probably has to her. It's so disgusting to hear somebody who knows somebody like that from Australia to say that no, we can't use that.
Right.
And just pretend like the beginning of all knowledge that's possible to have has started in this conversation.
Well, did you notice that she, every time it came up with something, if it was something she couldn't field, she said, well, that's no good. Let's just stick to the basics. Or were you there? Or some variant of a way of dismissing that one to get down to something she felt she could argue against.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the first three, she just went through them, didn't she? He said something, and she just, all right, well, what's your second one? And he came up with the sunsets or whatever. And well, what's your third one then? And, it was just one thing after another. But I mean, and then of course we had Adam Meakin in there, who's obvious Oakley tard, parroting Oakley stuff. Mm-hmm. And then of course this bit at the end there, we didn't quite get it all. She has quite a rant actually, which we've missed, which is unfortunate, and we may actually be able to grab that little bit actually shortly, because the final bit is it's finished uploading, it's now processing. So but yeah, she goes all religious, and they start saying to her, quoting bits of the Quran at him, and just after that clip they say, oh, that's really brave of you, you're reinterpreting the Quran. And he's the Muslim.
Yeah.
And they're two, she's told us in, no uncertain terms that she's a Christian. There she is quoting the Quran at him, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah, this is bizarre. I agree. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Lewis.
I was going to say, I wonder what he's thinking in that situation. Here are these people who are clearly not Muslims telling me how I should view things. And out of all the religions that he could be, Islam is probably the most controversial and the one with the greatest disparity in interpretations.
Right.
In terms of, what people end up doing. You got the terrorists and then the Muslims who come out and condemn the terrorists and say, no, they're not real Muslims. It's a pretty tremendous disparity. That's all I mean there.
Right. Everyone needs to make a lengthy comment on this video because we're still waiting and it's going to be a few minutes yet. So.
Well, I was about to say that with the last video too, I have to agree with Sky about her effectiveness. Not that it's a good kind of effective, but it's a kind of effective that it works for what she's doing. Because like whenever she was pointing at the posters in the other video, and she was like talking about how all these things are true. It's like people like us, we can hear when she says things like gravity is just a theory. But the way she says it, like people who maybe aren't as aware of what those things mean, that they can be kind of effective. And then also her just how confident she was in the way she's saying, like when she was talking about last dude and telling him that he can't trust his friend who lives down south or whatever. She says it like it's like a fact.
Right. And what was that stuff about the moon being like an elevator or something? And
I don't know.
The axial tilt of the Earth, and if it was responsible for what we see in the sky, then we would be going up and down like an elevator. I'm not sure what that means.
No, I have no idea. I haven't heard that one before. I don't know if anyone else has.
I think if it's what I think it is, she might think that the tilt of the Earth, like the way that we're tilted all the time as we go around the sun, perhaps she thinks that it tilts like back and forth as it rotates.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe throughout the day she thinks it's doing this with every rotation, but it's doing that with every revolution of the sun relative to the plane of the sun.
I wonder if she knows how elevators actually work. We may be dealing with two problems here. How about that Burke there who said that all globes have a sticker on them saying not for educational use? Aren't these the same idiots that say there's a globe in every classroom when you're a kid?
Yeah.
They are for educational use.
He said it's the law that they have to have that.
Yeah.
I think you do find them that do have that.
Sure. You get those little ornamental ones from HomeSense or Winners or something,
right.
And they're meant to be used to teach anybody where anything is. But that's, he claims NASA doesn't use the globe.
Yeah, NASA won't even use the globe. Like, okay.
Well, I read the reason for that is that I think a lot of them, they're manufactured in China, but exported through India. And there's some disputed territory. And sort of China print it one way, and India don't like that.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
So they slap these stickers on it. I don't know how true that is, but...
No, that's true. With Tibet, yeah, they can't, or they don't claim it as a country.
Okay, but the best part of that clip was when she asks the guy, what's your number one proof? And he nails it. He gives like a totally shockingly good answer. And she's like, okay, what's your second best proof? What's your 54th best? I mean, it was like she was so desperately looking, and I swear to God, basically she was going to get to the point where she's like, okay, look, here are the things I can refute. Which of these things do you like the most? And then I'll refute it.
Yeah.
Like, that is,
yeah. I think she was hoping for ships over the horizon. I think she would have been, she'd felt on safe ground maybe with that.
Yeah, but I mean, was there more to that perspective argument that we edited out? Or did they just basically close it off
No, they just closed it off. That was basically it. Lines of convergence, that whatever she said. I think that was what she said, wasn't it?
Well, it's a tremendously stupid argument either way, but I just can't. I don't know. I kind of wish I would have heard what he had to say there. He was kind of overwhelmed by all the shit they were just throwing at him all at once.
Nailing it. I mean, he was shocking off the street.
Because
he was,
yeah. Too bad he was a Muslim, and then they were able to go down the Holy Scripture path.
Well, I was surprised at how poor the quotes they brought up were. None of them say that the Earth is flat. Nothing out from the Quran there was indicative of a flat Earth. So even that didn't fail for it. But to stand there and a Muslim comes up and says, well, you disagree with the Quran, do you? I wouldn't do that. I think that's a bad idea.
I know.
Antagonizing outspoken Muslims on their degree of faith is probably imprudent.
Right, well, I think we can get... Sorry, go ahead, Scott. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, did somebody in there say, this is what drives me crazy about this entire community, which is, it's 2019, right? Somebody in that clip said, I don't remember who it was, somebody said, well, gravity is still just a theory.
Right.
It's not, it's like, how is it, this is on us, I say, this is a failing of us. How can we not been able to just get a simple definition? We can't even get them to believe us on what a word means. Like, that's insane. We are terrible at this.
Right.
The word being theory in this case.
Theory, I think.
When I was in the atheist Christian debate, they would, that was a thing there. And it was a thing that, the Christians in that debate abandoned, because they'd heard it so many times. And, they knew what a scientific theory was, and they knew they couldn't, arse about with that word in that way. Yep. But this lot just never seemed to have got the message, and it has been said to them.
Clearly somehow we fail miserably when we do it because it doesn't ever stick.
Right. Well, it is. We can have some more clips.
Yeah.
It's working. It's working. We could finish off that clip actually, if you want. Shall we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might as well. We might get some of it again. Now, hang on. Just let me see if it's ready on this thing. Hang on. No, it's not. Right. Bear with me. Just talk amongst yourselves just for a moment, if you don't mind.
I thought it was.
It won't take a moment. It won't take a moment. I promise.
Go on, Kosho.
No, I was just gonna say, 'cause I don't know if Scott was on. He wasn't listening when I first started talking, but I used what I said to back up what he said about her effectiveness, and then you said the same thing that I said about the theory thing, the gravity still being a theory thing.
Oh, well,
I said that was her.
I got disconnected at the very beginning, so I didn't hear like the first 30 seconds of talk, so I missed it.
Well, I used that as her being effective, like to people who, not to us, obviously, it wouldn't be effective if we were there, or people who know that. But the way that she's so certain and so confident, and she said it like that, it sounds like she's right. You know what I mean? But
you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's that phenomena of God, what's that phrase? There's a phrase in that documentary, Making a Murderer. One of the lawyers says the problem with the cops is they have too much certitude and not enough humility. And I feel like that's exactly what's wrong. Well, that's exactly what goes wrong with the flat earthers. They have too much certitude, not enough humility, and so they become certain they're right too early, basically.
Sure.
Right. On that note, let's have some more. I don't know where we'll be in this, but let's hope we don't get too much of it twice.
Science is almost like a football team. They want people invested in it, believing in it, and fighting for it. But in fact, it takes us away from the stuff that we've been taught originally. Does that make sense? So I would definitely take time to look into some of this.
Again, going back just a little bit.
Describing a ball,
yeah.
He'd have described the ball, wouldn't he? He wouldn't have chosen something
like the Bible,
that is flat,
like all of them,
to describe how God made the place. Yeah.
But if space isn't real, why does the Quran also say that Allah has made
the Hebrews talk about the cosmos, bruv. The Hebrews talk about the cosmos within the design. Do you understand? But you see, the ministries of education have perverted the cosmos. Now we send our children to school to be taught about what has been made by God. The schools want to tell us better than the books, bruv. School wants to tell Muslim children better than the Quran can tell them. The Quran can tell them the truth, but the schools want to talk about a different cosmos. They want to talk about their cosmos, which is not this cosmos. Yeah? Everything is within the Most High's design. Yeah? There's nothing higher than the Most High. The Most High made everything, not man. But they've got us divided. They've got everybody divided, split, you know, almost like a team. You know what I mean? Like science is almost like a football team. They want people invested in it, believing in it, and fighting for it. But in fact, it takes us away from the stuff that we've been taught originally. Does that make sense? So I would definitely take time to look into some of this, and don't spend so much time looking at the Flat Earth Society because it was put there as a distraction.
So
Yeah,
that's why I
you
want
thought
to.
we were, yeah. That's what we're trying to fight them as well. They've been out long before us, making people think about, so that people don't take the conversation that we're having seriously. We don't get the airtime to have this conversation because we normally get laughed at with people thinking we're talking about something that we're not, when we're really trying to have a deep, meaningful conversation about who put us here, which is what the ministries of education are trying to take people away from.
Okay, well, I guess Flat Earth is like a football team. Roxanne really wants them to believe and be invested in what they're talking about.
I wanted you to see that clip because I wanted you to see Roxanne recommending that we teach radical Islam in schools, which is what she seemed to be saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can she blink? Is that like a medical problem where she doesn't blink? It's quite disturbing.
I think that might be speed.
Yeah, maybe.
There's something going on there. It's so weird. Like you said, you made the comment about teaching radical Islam in schools or Islam in schools, whatever that guy's personal belief about the Quran is. Well, that's higher than what we're doing in schools now.
Right.
But they're trying to steal that from you.
And did you notice? I don't know whether you did because we may have just missed it, but she got the sort of radical Islamist wagging finger going at that time as well. Did you notice that?
I did do, yeah.
You know how they do that in those "we're gonna kill you" videos. They're always wagging their finger as they're giving out their manifesto. She started doing that.
I'm not familiar with this this horrible wagging finger thing, but
well, you know, when you see one of these videos that's been made by one of these Islamic terrorists that's blown himself up or done something terrible somewhere, and he leaves behind a video, and usually in those videos they're sat cross-legged with an AK-47 at the side of them, and then they give out this sort of manifesto, sort of preach at people, and as they do it, they always wag their finger. Anyway, just an observation that I took a long time to talk about.
Do you think Roxanne is fancying herself a Muslim now? You think maybe she's on the road?
Well, she believes in the Most High. The Most High. The Most High. That's her way of being sort of, appealing to all religions and not unappealing to any,
There's nothing higher than the Most High.
Anyway, let's have another clip. Staying on the subject of religion. There might be a little bit of black before we get into this because my timings are terrible, but it should be ready to go. Let's do it. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'll get there.
It could be, as you say, they're hiding God. It could be. So they could be hiding God. So it could be that.
There's lots of motive for control. To control people, to make them think that this is it, to make them think they're insignificant, to make them think that there's other planets, to make them think we're just like the other planets. Right? We could be much different. What if we're different? What if we're the ground, the basement of the universe, and the stars are meant for us? Everything's meant for us to keep time because humanity is important. When they tell you that you're just this ball, then you're just like everything else. You're insignificant.
Okay. So you want to feel significant? So
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's. I think we are significant.
Yeah.
Because you think that we're one little speck. Because you believe there's other galaxies, right? planets, Mars, everything?
Of course.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Oh, okay. See.
Okay, I'll ask you a question. Do you think that Jaren's religious? In religion or what? Is he drunk? Religion? Jaren doesn't like the religious aspect of it. I don't like the religious aspect of it because it's sometimes too much. But is this amazing how indoctrinated? You can't believe that, can you?
No.
This guy actually can't handle it because there's too much religion. Where is religion?
Religion, that's right.
I can't believe that.
That was nice. You had on one hand, Jaren's really taken a wide swing here with the pendulum, starting off with "fuck Jesus" or whatever it was that he said, and now, are you religious? No. Oh, well, I guess the conversation's over.
Yeah, he did go on to lay some creationist crap on him then about you believe you came from soup and. This standard Kent Hovind nonsense.
It sounds to me like Jaren has thoroughly found God through this flat Earth thing.
Well, he stood up at the conference and said they're hiding God. That was in Raleigh in 2018. So I think it was 2018. 2017.
He did, yeah.
Maybe he's just resolved to pick up the arguments because he thinks it's the ends justify the means.
Right.
When he said the basement thing, I thought that was like my joke because they would always say, like the universe, there's a universe and then the Earth is basically the floor of the universe, and they would say that, and I would be like, what do you mean? It's like it's the basement of the universe. Like I never heard the flat earthers use it that way, but I guess it caught on.
It's a weird thing though that they do that, where they sort of project all these. Project their own thoughts on what that is to everyone else. Well, if you believe that, then you think you're insignificant, and you think, well, who thinks that? No one thinks that.
Yeah, that's all. It's why it's such a weak argument. It's like, well, if the Earth's a ball, that doesn't make us insignificant. The universe being massive, that doesn't make us insignificant,
right?
At all.
And evolution, it says that. 99% of all species that have ever lived are extinct. I mean, that makes you pretty special.
Yeah. And so I think they what makes them feel so significant about this particular thing is that if they're right, it means that they are virtually the only right people in the world. And not only are they right, they're morally right as well.
Right.
Because they're fighting a just cause. It's a perfect delusion. It's a fantasy.
Okay, anyone else got anything to say on that?
Well, I thought that maybe he was trying to go with that guy, like he was using the religious aspect because he thought the guy was religious. This is what I thought he was doing, and then he found out the guy's not religious at all. And I agree with the other guy. I thought Jaren wasn't religious, but Corda says that he came out and said that at the
100%, yeah.
meeting. Yeah, so I guess it's there. But yeah, I remember him being.
Wait, Kosho, did you just refer to me as the other guy?
No, I was talking about the guy he was talking to, the guy that Jaren was talking
All right.
to. Yeah, from now on, I'll lose to the other guy. No.
I won't have that grave dug for myself.
You know how you're going to be introduced in the next show, Lewis.
Yeah.
No.
It's like the guy in the shirt said. The guy in that one shirt said this. Yeah.
No, I just had the dude Jaren was talking to. I thought that he maybe thought he was religious, and that's why he went down that route.
I don't think he did. I mean, they hadn't touched on religion up until that point. I think Jaren just sort of thinks that, I guess, if he's talking to an atheist, he's got no hope kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
You're just too far from where, his position for him to reach, I think. Should we have some more?
Well, I think what's her name? Roxanne she's a VIP so far. Everybody else seems like really, I don't know, flaccid with it, with their arguments. Whereas
Right.
she's pretty I mean, she's at least galvanizing people, getting their attention.
This is.
What's the guy in the shirt trying to say?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, I was thinking my timing of this was poor, but here we are. There's somebody named Kolva and Isaac Wacker and Delta Fan. They're spamming the same shit in the chat over and over and over and over.
Need a spanner in there to clean those up.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
Who's in there who we know? Where is everyone? It's because
Anna's there. Give it to Anna.
Oh my God! Here we go.
That'll sort around.
Anyway, we don't want to just spend the whole show dedicated to that.
No.
I don't know. It's catching my eye enough.
Oh shit! I can't do it with that one. Hang on, I have to do it with this one. Fucking hell.
But more clips of stupid people might do as well.
Yes. Sorry. I should probably have done that first, shouldn't I? Okay, I'll do that first. That'll probably work better. Okay, so let me introduce this, and then we'll deal with what shit's going on. What a roller coaster show it is tonight. So the tour moved on to an uneventful appearance at the back of a railway station in Ghent, Belgium, before travelling to Hamburg, Germany, and then Checkpoint Charlie, Berlin, where it seems the team aren't the only activists in town. Look out also for 2 cameo appearances of a well-known YouTuber in this clip.
Would you like one? Oh look, we've got a Simon Dan fan. There's a guy walking around with the Simon Dan fan. We were told there was going to be trouble today. Oh, look, I think he's got a balaclava on. Okay, let's see what's going on with his police then.
Yeah, look. Police state, that's what it is. I told them the world was flat, and look what happened. They've all brought all this lot all out for me, you know what I mean?
Nazis first! Nazis first! Nazis first! Nazis out! 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 Nazis out!
Yeah, you hear that? Nazis out!
Nazis out!
Nazis out, they're saying. Nazis out. The Nazis, get out, man. Get out of here, the Nazis, man. Get out of here, you Nazi bastards, man.
Yeah, here we go.
Come on. Yeah, give me. Put it up high, darling. Give me.
Nationalismus aus den Köpfen! Nationalismus aus den Köpfen! Nationalismus aus den Köpfen! Say it loud! Say it clear! Refugees are welcome here! Say it loud! Say it clear! Refugees are welcome here! Say it loud! Say it clear! Refugees are welcome here!
Wow.
Wow, that was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had full-on attack dogs and riot gear. Although I think those protesters were much better behaved than similarly themed protests in the United States.
Well, one of the groups there was called Grannies Against the Right.
Yeah,
I
that
think
sounded
that was
like
the
a
group that they were stood closest to.
that sounds like a very granny type slogan. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. That's
a movement I can get behind.
I think the flat earthers felt well put to shame by that. They wish they could get that sort of attention to their movements, but I guess that's a goal for them.
It was interesting to see, wasn't it? And what I thought was kind of weird was because when we have those kind of marches and things here, all of the nationalists, all of the right wingers, all carry Union Jacks or England flags, usually Union Jacks. And then when you see the German guys, of course, they've all got German flags, which, of course, is what you'd expect. But it just kind of looked weird to me somehow. I don't know why, but I did think that was cool. But yeah,
I mean,
that
was weird.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, they were protesting in English. I know. I didn't think that was bizarre in Germany.
That was odd, wasn't it? How they broke into like an English chant like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they want international press attention.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes sense. They don't want the entirety of the world thinking that Germany has Nazis and they're fine.
Although, what's the German word for out? Is it maybe out?
I don't know.
Yeah, but
it might be.
That wasn't what they were protesting in there. It said something like, what refugees aren't welcome here. That's what they said at the end.
Are
welcome here is what they said.
Seriously, that same thing.
I'm gonna steal this from someone in the chat there, but at least the protesters weren't blocking the blind footpath.
That's good.
Who was that prancing flat earther at the beginning, the gibbering idiot going, "Oh, they brought all these dogs out for me!" Woo!
Oh no, he's crazy. Isn't he? He's called Lee. He was on the tour for the first week. I think they were glad to get him off because I heard Jason, who owns that tour bus and isn't on the tour now, recounting a time when that Lee had decided to cook chips, French fries for our American audience, while the vehicle was in motion.
Oh my God!
Oh shit!
I still don't understand. I don't understand why that's a problem. We had to
because of the boiling
oil.
Because of the group. Yeah.
Isn't it go into a contained? Isn't it much like gas pressure and requires a container that has a lid and you put the French fries in it?
Okay.
No.
All right.
Well, it doesn't really need a lid, but even if it has a lid, that can fall off. You know what I mean? It can just slide off. It's not sealed, you know.
I'm just. You guys are just kind of a little bit snowflakey about this whole baking chips in the motion.
Oh my God! I've never cooked them.
This is a
with
man
a
who
lid.
doesn't understand the operation involved in making chips. Come on.
Jeez Louise! And that guy, the dude. I mean, I guess he was a Glober. He was trolling them, but holding up that Simon Dan sign, put it in front of their thing. I wonder if that's Lichwink.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. They did it a couple of times, and I think Simon Dan is planning some sort of mass trolling. I think I've heard him say.
Yeah,
but I guess that'll be. I guess when they hit the UK again, which I think isn't until December or something like that.
I bet we'll see them pop up here and there on this tour because Simon Dan has a large enough audience that I bet he's got a couple of people.
Right, and now
now
someone sort of set the ball rolling, so to speak. You know?
Right. So now if somebody else joins in, they'll be part of a compilation later on Simon Dan's channel. So he's I think there's potential there for us to see more people in the future.
He has actually pulled off a pretty good troll with them because he's managed to get his sticker on the side of the bus as well.
Yeah. Somebody stuck it on the windshield.
No,
did
I
they
think
do it
he
on
actually.
the side?
Well, no, they did. They sort of auctioned off spaces on the side of the bus where you could have like your YouTube channel on there, and I think he just paid for it. I guess.
Oh.
I don't know whether he did it by some other means or something like. I don't know, but it's on there officially. It's not.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not someone's just slapped it on.
That's the most counterproductive thing I can imagine them doing.
I know.
Like, why would they put
giving them your money? I mean, I could never do that. Well, though, having said that, I have paid for a live stream from the conference before.
Yeah.
In fact, I paid for 2, but the UK one, I complained and got the money back because it didn't work. And I mean, who can't make a live stream work? God damn it.
This one works fine every week, and that's why you come here, for the consistency and the reliability of this commentary on this very important issue.
That's
right. So, what do you mean, though, that you pay for a live stream, like to play during the conference?
Well, no, you know when they do the conference, the US one, they live stream it, but you have to pay to watch that live stream.
Oh, okay.
It's like $20 or something. So I did. Right, shall we have a bit more? We're getting through it. We've got a lot of clips tonight, I tell you, but they're short. They're short. So, flat Earth activism isn't all fun and games. Here, from the streets of Warsaw in Poland, an ever-cheerful Lisa describes the reality of being on the activism road. Not ready again.
Right, we just wanted to give an update. We're in Poland at the moment, and it's been a bit of a nightmare. I don't even know where to begin. It was really difficult to get here. We had lots of issues on the way, but that, we kind of got over them and got here anyway. We'd already planned where we were going to park, and as soon as we got here, basically the whole place was blockaded by police. We thought, okay, well, we'll just park around the corner in some residential area. So we, literally as soon as we arrived, you want to come in as well, because you can confirm it. So as soon as we arrived, literally the second we arrived, this Polish woman came out and said something in Polish to the effect of, "What the hell are you doing here? Get out of here! This is our area, and you can't park here. Get out," kind of thing. And I said, "Sorry, I don't actually speak Polish." And then she said it in English. So we found out later on it was some kind of funeral. It looked like a president or something. I don't know. There was big flags and red flowers and everybody dressed in black. So we just thought, this isn't happening. So we got in the van and we thought maybe we could do some activism at the airport. But we got to the airport and then we had problems there as well because we couldn't park anywhere. And the van was too high and it was just non-stop. So even doing laundry was an issue. So we didn't know that in Poland apparently people don't use coins. They kind of so there was a self-service laundry. So we went into a few shops with some Polish money and we asked for some change. None of the shops would give us change. We were literally all going round to the different shops trying to get change to pay for the laundry. And my God. So it just was not happening. Eventually we got the laundry done and then we needed to dry it. So and we needed more change. And even when we eventually managed to get a bit of change, it didn't dry. So we were like, okay, well, how are we going to dry our clothes? Because I was wearing thin clothes so that I could wash everything so that I had enough clothes to wear the next day. So I didn't even have enough clothes to wear. Neither did anybody else. And Lee was leaving the next day and he had kind of wet laundry. So we were like, okay, we're gonna have to figure it out somehow. So we ended up just hanging everything from every single corner and putting the heater on in the van to like dry it overnight. And eventually we got like some of the things dried just enough to be able to get through the day.
We sleep about 2 hours a day. We are on this mission. I'm sorry because the words fucking every second we are on it.
Like pretty much all of us have,
and here was impossible
like,
to
2
do.
or 3 hours a night since we've been doing this.
Who is that guy?
Come back.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks good on mine. Oh, no, it's offline.
It said it says reconnection successful, so it might take a few seconds for it to catch up.
Okay, all right.
Looks
Yeah, it looks like we're
back on. No, but yeah, she does have a better. I don't know. I feel better with her than with Roxanne. Roxanne's so snarty and like,
right.
Kind of. Yeah, she seems pleasant.
Well, yeah, Lisa seems like she's reasonable enough that maybe if she has the right conversation with enough people, she'll be able to see through everything.
Yeah, and she doesn't really sort of argue with people so much. She just kind of hands them leaflets, and she does say a few things, but she doesn't. She's really non-confrontational, and I think she kind of does a good job of it. And she stays happy, and it must be horrible. I mean, you can hear her describing some of it, and you can imagine being stuck in that bus with some of these random people that are just, you know, she doesn't know, hasn't met before. Must be, I don't know. I don't know how she seems happy anyway.
I can imagine them all fighting over the different corners of the van, saying, "No, I get the mirror. All right, I'm hanging my clothes off the mirror, and that's it. You go over there. You use the antenna or whatever."
Right. Well,
I'm sure
I've got one more clip from the tour. So, from Poland, the tour moves to Estonia and is joined by piss-drinking flat earth old boy, allegedly Dave. Here he is making the now standard flat earth on the telly appearance.
Where do you work now?
I don't. I help people for free.
What is the purpose of this Aero trip?
The purpose of this is to bring the awareness of the flat Earth to people in Europe. We've been told lies about where we live for the last 500 years, and it's about time that people knew the truth.
But why do you think scientists lie about it?
Scientists per se don't lie. They've been indoctrinated the same way that we all have into believing this world view. Right? And it's like lies on lies upon lies upon lies, and until it looks like the truth. This is a flat, motionless Earth. There is a creator, and they're desperate to hide that information.
Why do you care so much about the shape of the Earth?
Well, for one thing, NASA makes 56 million every single day. Takes that from the pockets of Americans. Yeah, you're paying for lies.
If you dig a hole on the bottom of the sea, will the water run out?
If I dig a hole at the bottom of the sea, will the water run out? No, that's not the cosmology that we live in here.
Where will this water go then?
It won't go anywhere.
Why, if there's a hole through the Earth?
Where to? The question you're asking, right, if you look at in scientific terms, is what's on the other side of the flat Earth?
Yeah. Okay. What is there?
Right, well, it's the same answer as what's on the other side of the universe.
Is it possible to fall off from the edge of the Earth?
Well, no, if you can't reach it. Right, when you go to Antarctica, which we say is the actual rim around the Earth, you encounter 200-foot walls of ice. Yeah, followed by 300 miles of ice plain, and then 2-mile-high mountains. And beyond that, nobody knows, apart from maybe Admiral Byrd, but yeah, nobody really knows, because you can't get there. You can't go by yourself to Antarctica.
But how can you all afford being on this tour? Do you get some funding?
We managed to get funding. We did a tour-a-thon where we had a kind of relay of videos that people could follow, and we asked people to donate to us, and we're still asking people to donate to us.
So people donate, and that's the funding for your tour right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Saying that, there have been a couple of individuals who have gone above and beyond, and they're, you know, some people are risking a lot just to do this. So this is what we see in the world, yeah?
That was a good question that she asked.
She did actually, I thought, yeah. That was
Which
Estonian
question?
TV, that was.
About the hole in the ocean. Because you see he was stumped. He was like, wait, what?
Well, you know, I thought the answer that he gave, logically, the answer that he gave was decent. Obviously, it sort of missed the point. But his answer was basically the same thing that, you know, what's on the other side of the earth, the same thing that's on the other side of the universe. So, I mean, it does reveal, it's an answer that reveals where the flat earthers at.
Yeah, I think that you might have heard him say that, or because I thought he was going to say that, but he didn't say that. He said that's like asking what's on the other side of the flat earth. I was like, wait, what? Because I thought he was going to say what you said, because I've heard that where people say that, like, that's like asking what's on the other side, or what's on the outside of the universe or whatever. That actually is a good argument for that. But
okay, so moving on to a slightly different thing with Admiral Byrd. That's so baffling, because he thought the Earth was a sphere. Did they not? How do they not grasp that? This guy was not a flat earther, and he wasn't taught when, like, the most common thing they cite is there's a landmass the size of the United States on the other side of the South Pole.
Right.
And it's like, he's talking about Antarctica, guys.
Right.
He's talking about the landmass of Antarctica. He's not saying that
this is every argument they have. They will tell us that we can't look at pictures from space, and then they will show us pictures in space that prove some argument they have. They will tell us science you can't trust, and then they'll give us some result from science that proves them right. Over and over, it's like that.
Stream's frozen again, but not.
Is it? The audio's okay?
I don't know. I can't really tell that, but that's weird.
no, it's fine. The audio's fine.
Yeah, the audio's okay. We just have a poor resolution image of me.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird.
All right.
You know,
It seems
I was
like
thinking,
everything else looks okay, so that's odd.
Let's look at Lewis for a bit.
Shall we have something else and see if we can jog some life into it?
Yeah, let's do that. This isn't the first time the stream is frozen on me, I don't think.
Right. It likes you, Lewis.
I think so.
All right, well, let's hope we get the pictures for this. If not, I guess it'll work with sound, kinda. So we leave the Global Eye Tour behind now and cross the pond for yet more activism. This guy went viral earlier this week.
You see, Genesis chapter 1 is about creation. We didn't come from a big bang, all right? There was the Spirit of God across the face of the water on day 1, all right? And then on day 3, he made the earth. And then on day 4 was the sun, moon, and stars, which are to give light upon the earth. Now, a spinning globe lie is being taught here in the city. I'm a lifelong resident of this city. I was born right up the street at the hospital in 1983. And my first school I went to was Ohio Street School. And in that classroom there was a globe. And that's what we were taught, that Earth's a spinning ball going around space, going around the sun. That's completely contrary to the Word of God. As good Christians, we know that evolution is no good. We know we didn't come from monkeys. So good Christians know that. But here we are, falling for the lies of these scientists that are telling us that the Earth is motionless, that it's motion around the sun and all these movements. Earth is motionless. We don't feel it moving. They call it sea level because water finds its level. They call it the word horizon because it's horizontal. Real science proves what I'm saying. But not only Scripture does also. See, I was convinced by Scripture first when I looked into it. I'm a veteran of the United States Navy. Right out of high school, I joined. I was an aviation safety mechanic, and I was in squadron VAQ-139. And I went off to war, and I had to endure that, and I came back home to Watertown. But I attest that my testimony is true, that these lies and this fraud and deception needs to be stopped in the city. So I'm asking that this council come together for a resolution that the globe lies stops, that all these false sciences that are being taught stop. Because when you teach people lies, you cause mental health problems. That's why you have all these problems with people with mental health issues, is that they've been lied to for 12 years in public education, and then you charge them to go to college, and they're getting more lies. The truth of how things are need to be taught, because flat earth is a revelation of Jesus Christ. The earth is indeed motionless, and the firmament holds the waters above. And God's throne is looking down on us as grasshoppers. If any of you know your Bible, you guys know that I'm talking about Genesis chapter 1. About over 200 verses in the Bible talk about the earth. And not one of them describes the motion. The only time the earth moves is an earthquake. So I would like the city council and the mayor to come up with some kind of law that's passed here first. We will be setting a precedent in the United States of America on this subject. Now, I also have a YouTube channel called Flat Earth Watertown, New York. I've been posting videos of scripture and science and interviews of Watertown citizens here locally. It's a new channel, so go check it out. But I'm here to raise awareness that we're being lied to on all levels. Thank you.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I immediately feel a need to say we aren't all like that. I may not be all there either, but we aren't all like that guy. Not all Americans. Not all Americans. Oh my God.
Yeah, I would say if you guys haven't seen his channel yet, I did. I checked it out. There's not much content there, but he does have one video where he buys, or I don't know if he buys the globe or not, but he smashes the hell out of a globe. It's actually pretty impressive.
Oh, does he actually do that? I saw him buy the globe in one, but then he didn't smash it.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one's like totally just a 10-second clip, and he has it just sitting in a street somewhere, and he smashes the hell out of it.
I wish that the girl that was recording would have heckled him or something, because you could hear her giggling. It was pretty funny.
We're stuck on you again, Lewis. I don't know what's happened to the hangout. It's just completely.
But you gotta admit, dude was super articulate, like shockingly articulate.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. If you listen to him, he was absolutely articulate. And I just feel I can't feel anything but empathy for that guy. He clearly believes every word he's saying. He clearly is like on a mission, and he believes he has the right answer. And you know, he seems like a good guy. He seems like he could succeed if it was not for this weird mental snap that he has. Like it's kind of heartbreaking.
That guy he literally memorized dozens of different flat Earth arguments and has clearly rehearsed this script. The only thing that you're right about is that he believes in what he's doing.
About anything. I was right.
He just believes in what he's doing. That's it. He doesn't.
No, but you don't think he was articulate? You don't think the way he was presenting it was clear and understandable and smooth, and didn't involve lots of like, word salad. It was very clear and good. It was a great speech.
No, it was not a great speech.
Well, you're wrong.
It was the ramblings of a delusional
He
madman.
wasn't rambling. He was super clear. It was coherent. Here's what he wants. Here's what he did. Here's how he came back. He believes this is a lie. He doesn't want to continue to, cause mental illness in other people, which is slightly ironic.
Okay. Well, in that one sense, he starts here. He goes in this big loop, and then he comes back to where he's. In that sense, yes, it was a cohesive speech. Yes,
Yeah.
but everything in that speech was delusional and not
yes, that's
his.
the part that's heartbreaking, because it's like you just what is the thing you just could turn the knob a little bit and suddenly you see it all.
Something I thought was funny about that was the girl laughed, right? And you know that he heard that girl laugh at what he was saying. You know he heard that. And then he turns towards her in her general direction when he says, and if any of you know your Bible. It was so good.
I was on board.
Well, I don't agree when Scott said he was smooth, but all the rest of it, I think is true, and I think that the fact that he's even in there, with the confidence to, I don't know, and the assertiveness to do something, at like the city hall or town, whatever he's at the town meeting, or the city council or whatever. I mean, at least he's trying to do something about it instead of just like making videos. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's trying to do though, like what law he's trying to make, because he wasn't really clear with that. But he said set a precedent.
That's up to the leaders of the council to determine.
Make some law. Okay, here's the law. Don't allow fire to come in anymore.
He's clearly bought into some part of this sovereign citizen / Anthony Riley way of thinking about the law.
Right.
In nitpicking definitions of specific words. He's clearly bought into that because he thinks, well, now that they're aware there's an interest on the part of their constituents, now they have to do something.
Yes. I thought there were some undertones of Marilyn Spirit Level Teague, that woman who did the same thing. She went to, was it a school board meeting? I think she went to.
Yeah.
I think it was City Hall or City Council as well. At least I'd seen one where she'd done that.
Right.
I think it was about schools though.
Yeah, that's right. I think you're right. Yeah, I think he was sort of maybe copying her a little bit as well. But I thought he did all right. And, I watched some of his other videos, and he seems like a nice chap. He doesn't seem like a horrible bloke. He's surrounded by other flat earthers, though. They're everywhere in his town. And
which is weird.
He's got a couple of like faked interviews kind of thing, where it's obviously his mate, and he sort of convinces him kind of thing,
Well, no, I did see one where it was his friend, it was probably his friend, where he's not a flat earther though. And he's like, yeah, I looked into this before. Yeah, I still don't believe it though,
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why he interviewed that guy, but
well, he gets it, he kind of gets him to say, oh, well, yeah, maybe I should look into that. And do you know what I mean? He has a sort of a halfway tone at the end of it kind of thing,
Yeah, I guess so. And then there was a podcast that he did on his couch, which is probably, maybe he should straighten it up first. Looks kind of messy.
I'm unfamiliar with this guy. I've never.
No, I hadn't come across him before this, and I went and had a look at his channel. But anyway, he hasn't got many subs, and we used him for entertainment. So the usual rule follows. Please go and subscribe to his channel. Don't bully the poor bloke,
Oh, God.
All right, shall we lift our... What's the word? Lift our mood with something funny.
Okay, all right. I'm skeptical that it will actually be funny, considering what we...
I think it's funny.
Okay.
So, finally, in our truly international show, we travel to the land of the long white cloud. Anyone know where that is?
Is it because those clouds, that they're unique in Australia? It's like that. Those clouds. I forget what it's called.
Close. Yeah, close.
Yeah.
The land.
Maybe they're unique in New Zealand.
The land of the long white cloud is New Zealand. You're right. Here we go.
Oh my God, that was amazing. That guy's presentation, his sense of humor, his whole way of approaching everything, the editing, that was fantastic.
I thought that was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was
That was
funny.
awesome. It made for a very good, short little piece of television.
Well, he also, it's a bit longer than that, the original, and he actually hires an actor to sound like a scientist, and they try and do an experiment, but they can't because the clouds come down again. They're gonna like observe a sunset and then go to a higher elevation and observe it again, and it doesn't happen. But there's a funny little bit with the actor that plays the scientist, who obviously hasn't got a clue what he's doing, you know.
He asks that girl, "Are you a scientist?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah." Oh, it's great. It was great. They didn't need anything else. It would have been hilarious just with that part. And then I think my favorite part of that entire thing was when he asked this guy to get something out, or can you get it out now or after? And he says, "Well, I've got more than one thing in my bag."
Yeah.
These incompetent fucking morons who can't dig through a fucking bag.
I kind of like the way that she'd sort of, I mean, obviously they'd scripted that first bit out there. Because when you see it, I don't know whether you remember, but we actually played a clip of her a few weeks ago when that convention took place. And she was on stage, you know, behind the podium, and she's being all very serious. And she was talking about they want to get a flat earth shop and this sort of thing, and, you know, preserve all of the flat earth material, you know, she's talking about. I mean, she's deadly serious, and then she just does that bit where she completely takes the piss out of herself, which I thought was actually, I thought she was quite cool. She came over pretty cool in that, I thought.
Was that in New Zealand?
Yeah, New Zealand, yeah.
I don't think a flat earth shop would work in New Zealand. Maybe it would, but I don't think it would.
Yeah, I think it was a shop, wasn't it? I think she said a shop, and she said she wanted to preserve all of the, you know, like the memes and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Oh, that's right.
I bet someone out there will get this. Maybe not everyone here will. But now New Zealanders has not only given us this woman, they've also given us Ray Comfort. And you seem to know who that is, Jem. I'm happy about that.
I know who Ray Comfort is. The Banana Man.
He is the Banana Man, and he lives in the United States.
Yeah. Where does he hang out? He's in California, isn't he?
California.
Usually hangs out on some beach, doesn't he? Well, on some street corner near a beach, I think.
Yep. He's done a lot of street preaching.
Yeah.
Same exact sort of warped mentality.
Yeah. He's the one that says, oh, you know, he has some like watchmaker argument about a junkyard turning into a 747. I think he originated that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have adopted that.
Yeah, I have heard it here recently. I think I've heard Riley making it, actually. Oh my God, I said his name. I nearly got through the whole show.
It's okay. Sorry, I was unaware of this commitment that you made to not say Riley. But something else that Ray Comfort's done, which is interesting, he also has a show. I don't know if it's still going on, but a few years ago he had this show called The Comfort Zone.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I've been banned from that chat a few times. Anyway, back to what we're doing here.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a live chat on that. I think when I was involved in that and kind of interested in that, there was like a long period of time where live chat didn't work on YouTube for like months and months. And that was kind of when I first got into it. So I'd never seen it working, but people always used to go on about, oh, hopefully we'll get the live chat back one day.
When I was on there, the chat was not on YouTube. The chat was on their own website. You had to go to a website for that. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's what people used to do it in them days, back then in them days. Well, that's it. I've got nothing left. God, it's been a long, arduous show.
Hasn't been that bad.
I just think it needs more Roxanne next time. If we could just get a little more.
Well, we had to catch up with the Global Eye Tour, and I don't know. They were just, I don't know. I just thought that interaction with the Muslim guy had a lot of, you know, a lot of little bits to offer. Her little bullshit about the moon and the elevator and the way they laid into him on his, you know, that they knew the Quran better than he did, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then her
It laid bare like what exactly they're doing there and to what extent they really are prepared to do that kind of thing. It was actually eye-opening to some extent.
Right, yeah. And then the blind path one, well, you know, I thought that deserved to be shown because I think it shows, you know, they go sort of Robin Hooding it around, sort of, you know, claiming their right to set up their crap wherever they want. But, you know, there are reasons that you have to ask permission to do this stuff. And I think that clearly illustrates one of the reasons because, you know, none of them noticed that path. She said that they talked to the police, but I don't believe that for a minute. You don't see any footage of that. She never mentions it prior to that guy saying it. They make no effort to keep the path clear. And
I can see them.
I'm going on about it a bit, aren't I?
Yeah, I can imagine them having a conversation with the police and coming to an understanding of, okay, well, our banners will stop right there, right at the edge of the footpath, and then the blind people will be fine.
Right.
And I just have to chalk, if that is the situation, then I have to chalk it up to incompetency of the policeman not recognizing that this is surely going to cause an issue with people standing right there.
Right.
It wouldn't have been a big deal at all for them to just move down 15 feet. And then they themselves could have taken other pieces of their posters and stood right there, right next to the entrance where the majority of the foot traffic was going to be. And then, you know, like we discussed earlier, call attention to those people and then have them come over, stand over by their posters. It would have been, I don't know, it would have been trivial, absolutely trivial.
Right. Agreed. Okay, well, let's call it a day there, shall we? God, knackered. So I'm not sure when we'll be back. You know, if the tour is eventful this week, then you know, we might be back next week because you can make a tour, a show out of a week's tour if stuff happens. But they've had a lot of lame dates, you know, where they're not really getting a lot of interaction. Anyway, I'll shut up. So join us again soon for more fabulous flatness. Oh, I must remind everyone, please subscribe to my channel if you can. I'd really like to get 1,000 subscribers. And I know a lot of people who watch aren't subscribed. So I would really, really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. So in the meantime, if you see something you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp linked in the comments section of this video. Or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has about 1,600 members, and we managed to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time, sometime maybe next week or the week after, something like that. So until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Have a great evening.
You're misleading the public. You're lying to people.
We are part of a giant studio set. All the world's a stage and you're on it.
Jesus Christ, and suck my dick. Suck my dick.
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit. But man's getting rude. Man's getting rude.
It could be a what's it? It could be an onion ring.
A hairless monkey jumping through the vacuum, or a potato rod.
Yeah, if we dumped what we found right now, it'd be bad. It would be bad.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.